I was American born, and I'll die in America.
Welcome to our group. Welcome to Defender 7.
Defender 7 has, and this ought to show it right here.
Do you or someone you know suffer from depression? If so, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Defender 7 Tuesday night medical broadcast with your host, our Colonel Kimberly Purvis. And before we get on with our show, I need to read our disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on Defender 7 radio show and Facebook page are those of the callers and or authors and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Defenders 7. Again, welcome. I'm broadcasting to you live from New Jersey, or as we like to say, New Germany. I hope everybody's having a good day so far. For those of you that are new just tuning in to us, we also have a website. If you type in all lowercase letters, www, Roman numeral V as in Victor, with 2 small i's.com. And on our website, you will find that we have a store and a donate button. 100% of all proceeds from sales from our store and from any donations we bring in go back to our communities throughout all 50 states in a time of need. So please, by all means, purchase something from our store or click that donate button. Help us to help you and your communities during a time of disaster, natural disaster, or shit hits the fan. Think about that. Help us to help you. We can also be reached on our national Facebook page by typing in the search box, all capital letters, Defenders 7. That's Defenders, Roman numeral V as in Victor, with 2 large I's. Now, before you click on that join button, just know that we expect all of our members and our future members to participate in everything that we do throughout all of the Defenders 7. That's training, survival skills, disaster relief training, meet and greet, which is a face-to-face meeting to know who in your community has your 6, which is cover your back when shit hits the fan. Now, if you get in and you feel it's not for you, you can always leave. There'll be no hard feelings. We're also on MeWe. If you click on organizations, scroll down to Defenders 7, Humanitarian American Patriot Group. Now, along with We Can Bring You Hope, which is our sister group, Searching for the Missing, we are currently searching on a cold case from 2015. So any of my listeners from Virginia, specifically around the Spotsylvania County, Fredericksburg counties, If you know something, say something. Reach out to one of us here at Defender 7 or on the We Can Bring You Hope website, or I'm sorry, on their Facebook page by typing in WCBYH and you can reach one of the members there. Or you can, if you want to do it anonymously, we can bring you hope.org. The name is Caitlin Akins. Let's help bring this closure to the family. I appreciate it. Please share her flyers if you see them. You can always see them on the We Can Bring You Hope Facebook page. And the more people that share them, never know, something will come out of it. It's always good. Her name is Caitlin Akins. Tonight's show and all the shows we do here on Blog Talk Radio, we enjoy it when you call in and participate. And that number to call, area code 914-205-5773. The number to call again, 914-205-5773. I will now bring in your host, our Colonel, Kimberly Purvis. Good evening, Kimberly.
Good evening.
Huh?
How was your day?
It's been going.
That's pretty much it. It's going. It's almost gone. Anybody else on or just us?
Right now, it's just you and I.
Oh, okay. Before we get started, I was going to say, I know everyone has, there was a lot of shit going around from Q and all of these other conspiracy websites. I don't know if you've heard about it. They've been doing the audit, the complete audit of Arizona on all the ballots from the election.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Okay, there is so much security. Right now, there's 30 forensic people. And, it's tight security in Arizona. And Maricopa County, they've already found 250 fraudulent ballots that did not have the watermark on them. And so because of that, they've gone to Georgia. And Georgia has found 25,000 fraudulent ballots so far. So I honestly, I don't know what's going to happen if they do all 6 of those states and find out all of those ballots were fraud that that miraculously showed up at 3:00 in the morning. I don't know. I mean, to me that's treason in itself. Wouldn't that be a coup to take over the government on their part?
I would believe, yes.
So see, and a lot of people say they can't, they won't be able to turn over the election or anything like that. But honestly, I think that's what would happen. And then all of them, get arrested and go to, whatever. But we shall see. I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit going around.
I got two things to say before you get on with the show.
Oh, go ahead.
Birthday shout out to one of our members, Rich Watson. He also goes by Red Dog Watson.
Oh, okay.
Happy birthday, old man.
Yeah, happy birthday.
And the second is we have two on the line. One is, of course, our favorite, Dr. Phil.
Woo, Dr. Phil.
And we also have Captain Slacker of Wisconsin, Miss Lorna Munson.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Only one.
And before we get started, Phil, I'm the text.
Yeah.
I'm the text your niece because she wants to get on here and say hi to you.
Yeah.
And I believe your sister wants to say hi too.
All right.
Trey.
You can go ahead and start. When she gets on, I'll just we'll take a break and let it happen.
I'm gonna get.
I thought that's what you were doing right now. So yeah, last
Well, I
week
just
we went
texted
over.
her, so.
Oh, okay. Last week we covered all the vitamin supplements, and this week I wanted to go and finish it off with the mineral supplements and what deficiencies you could get when you don't have enough. The first one is boron, and its function is to activate vitamin D, and it's also for your bone and joint health. And so some of the sources is by drinking water, eating almonds, apples, dates, nuts, beans, peanuts, prunes, and soy. It's also, you can also get it, it's in the soil, in your vegetables and plants and stuff.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
You there, Savannah?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Savannah. Congratulations on the driver's license. Thank God you haven't killed nobody.
I would never, but thank you.
He just needs to put mattresses around the vehicle. You know.
And yes, Phil, that's your goofy sister in the background laughing.
I know that laugh anyway, buddy. She could walk into a room and giggle, and you know who was there.
Exactly.
You could walk into a room and giggle and you know who's there. I'm a giggler.
Savannah, Savannah and Stephanie, say hi to Kim, and Lorna's also on with us too.
Hello.
Hey guys. Hey Kimmy.
And Lorna.
Hi Lorna. Ow. Hi.
All right, now you're interrupting the show.
Hey, Bobby, no
Okay, well, I'm getting off.
Drive you over here to come and hang out.
I didn't hear you, brother. What?
Now Savannah can drive you and Stephanie over here, and we can all hang out.
Exactly.
Yeah, funny.
Designated driver.
Yep. Because you know I'm not gonna get. You know I'm not gonna get Captain Morgan to fly out that way.
Yes, Phil, I did tell Kim a little bit about your alter ego.
Oh,
yeah.
Filter man.
Not everything's as it seems, eh, Kim? Hey, did you guys get that list of vitamins and minerals I sent on COVID? I think I tagged it in the Facebook, but I had to actually do screenshots because Facebook wouldn't let me upload it because of their advertising.
Facebook's a pain in the ass anyway.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the last medical show, Kim. I think he posted to that on national.
Oh, okay. I'll go back and look. But yeah, we can do that because
I gotta get Kim. I gotta get your Facebook, Kim, so I can send you. We can swap info.
Okay.
Dad.
Yes, babe. Yeah,
I'm
baby.
gonna get off so you can finish your show.
Okay.
Love you, bro.
Love you, Savannah. Love you, Steph. Hey, tell Steph I said to go ahead.
Ready.
Tell Steph I love her so much I want her to go ahead and eat some regular ice cream. I know about her lactose issue.
Hey, you be nice. You be nice. All right,
Steph, when Stephanie
I love you, Dad.
When Steph was little, she was the orange sherbet queen.
That's what we buy now. We buy the rainbow sherbet. We don't.
Giving
We're
out
both lactose intolerant.
Giving out the stuff in the younger years.
Yeah, that and the Italian flavored ice.
Oh, I love those.
Mm-hmm. All right, sorry for the interruption, Kim.
Yeah,
that's
sorry
all
about
right.
that, Kimmy.
I can't. It's not on here. It didn't show up. I'm looking on it right now, and I'm already past last week's show.
Huh.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't let it go through, Phil.
Maybe.
Was, last Tuesday, what was that date?
22nd, wasn't it? Or
yeah, it's not on here.
Huh.
Because I'm on the 20th right now, and there's wait a minute. Hold on.
Well,
I got
the 10 personalities tonight.
Oh, I got. Well, there's no. It says what you had posted, just a review on the vitamins was very informative, but there's nothing else on it after that.
Okay, I just posted the link to Bobby. Maybe he can figure out how to do it.
Yeah, we will. Oh, and I did, after last week's show, I did look it up, and they said there was a link between a lot of mental illness and schizophrenia between the lack of vitamin B, for all the B vitamins.
Oh, wow. I bet that, it makes sense. It makes sense because, you need the B vitamins for your nervous system, and your nervous system is your brain, so maybe.
Yep.
I can
it's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons they found for people, especially with like the schizophrenia, the paranoia, and all that. But yeah. So I'm surprised. That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised they don't look more into that, into the blood.
Well, those people who have like lumbar neuropathy or sciatica, and they can't tolerate like the gabapentin or the there's another one, I just can't think of the name right now. They can't tolerate those because of other conditions. We usually give them either a B12 or a B complex to help reduce the neuropathy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see that.
And I think all doctors should give them the B12 or the B complex regardless for the neuropathy, because I think it can help. And your body will excrete whatever B vitamins it doesn't absorb because it's water soluble. I don't know if you ever took too much B vitamins and you notice your urine comes out like a fluorescent green almost, or yellowish. That's because your body's getting rid of that. It's kind of weird looking.
Yeah, it's kind of like when they give you Peridium for your UTIs and bladder and kidney, and they don't tell you your urine turns orange.
Not just that. Your tears can, and your sweat can too. And we have to warn our patients to be careful wearing white clothes or sitting on white furniture, because they could actually sweat pink or red from the Peridium.
Yeah. Oh, they never told me that. But the first time I ever had it, that was a long time ago, and I freaked out. I'm like, oh my God, I'm peeing orange. And then it slowly turned. Sometimes it was red, and I'm like, oh, my God. And I called my doctor, and they laughed. They thought it was funny, but I'm like, it's not funny.
It's not funny. Yeah, no, I warn all my patients when I put them on that. And most women know by now, by the time I see them.
Oh, yeah.
But then when I get the kids, I let them know that, hey, no, it's not blood. It's the medicine that's doing that.
Even the over-the-counter one does it, too. The Azo, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You can get it.
Yeah.
That does it, too.
Uh-huh. It sure does. So what are we talking about today, guys?
The minerals. We didn't get to the minerals last week.
Oh, okay, good.
We might as well finish them out. You can't, because the minerals are just as important as all your vitamins too. But no, I was going to start with boron. I'm going in alphabetical order, just because that's the way it is in the book. So the body needs a very low concentration of boron to remain healthy. Even at a low B concentration, the mineral can provide several functions in the body, and it interacts with other nutrients that have essential roles. So with a boron deficiency, you could also develop a calcium deficiency. And some people have a magnesium deficiency and also had the decline in the boron levels. So due to the role that boron plays in bones and the brain, symptoms of a deficiency often develop into two systems. Sometimes they tend to experience poor cognitive function, and your alertness becomes suppressed due to the adverse effects of the brain. And there also may be poor uptake of calcium in the bones. And so with that, you can break your bones easier and things like that. So men with boron deficiency have risks related to the prostate and even reproductive system. So they do have a boron test, and it's often done to assist with men with low T. And it's not a definite cause, but it's a potential risk. So I think that's about. So some of the symptoms could be your brain function, could be impaired. In postmenopausal women, there have been reports of a significant reduction in estrogen. Now, if you have your ovaries taken out, wouldn't that be kind of complete estrogen gone?
No,
or
it's progesterone.
Okay.
When you lose your progesterone, when you lose your ovaries, and unopposed estrogen is dangerous. It can cause cancers and other things. So yeah, when you ovulate and the corpus luteum it breaks, it releases the progesterone, and that when the hormones fluctuate, when it releases the egg, the progesterone levels rise, and that progesterone is what balances out the estrogen. If you take out the ova or the ovaries, you don't get that ova released, and you don't have that progesterone. So that you're just strictly estrogen at that point.
Oh, okay. Joy. Because I have no ovaries then.
Joy.
They did a complete radical for me.
Right. So if they ever put you on like hormones for like say hot flashes or menopausal symptoms or other gynecological symptoms, because you don't have any ovaries, they would have to add progesterone to the estrogen regimen.
Oh, okay. Well, it's been
so if you have, for those girls who have only one ovary, then they don't need the progesterone added to the estrogen in the birth control. So they still make their own progesterone.
Oh, okay. Yes, I had ovarian cysts, and one of them was good, the other one was no good, and I'm like, just take them out. I just take both of them, and I mean, I haven't had any real issues, except I was always hot before. Now I'm always cold.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. My body just went complete opposite direction. because I was
You have a thyroid
always
condition?
hot.
Thyroid condition. Do you have a thyroid condition?
No,
Oh,
they
okay,
said
good.
mine is borderline slow.
Okay, so
I
subclinical.
haven't had it. Yeah, I haven't had it checked in 2 years, but now I'm always freezing.
Yeah, sometimes that's a sign of. Sometimes that's a sign of a hypoactive thyroid. Whenever you feel like you're cold all the time, that could be a condition of your hypoactive thyroid.
I wonder. Well, I know that has an effect on your weight loss or weight gain, and
yeah. Weight gain and constipation are associated with the hypoactive thyroid.
Maybe I might have her check mine again because it's been a couple years. See, my mom.
Yeah.
All the women on my mom's side have either hypo or hyper. So it's
right.
My mom's got the slow one. Her oldest sister had a slow one. And her mom and her other sister, theirs is too fast.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's something called
some of the weight. Yeah,
there's something called Hashimoto also. Hashimoto thyroid starts out as a hyperthyroid, a fast one, and it becomes a slow one. And a lot of times it's autoimmune, meaning there's an ANA test they do. It's your anti-nuclear antibodies. ANA will be positive in that condition, and you'll have antibodies against thyroid peroxidase. So, but it'll start out as a hyperactive thyroid, even to the point of where they get thyroid toxicosis, which can be life-threatening, and then it'll slowly regress into becoming hypoactive thyroid condition. But when you have the fast
her doctor was talking about. See, when my mom was younger, she barely weighed 125 pounds at 5'10", and she's progressed, so now she's gained a lot of weight, and now her thyroid's too slow. And her doctor did mention the Hashimoto's to her. And they also think she may have lupus.
Oh wow!
So,
well, yeah, it's autoimmune, that's for sure. And so you have to rule out lupus and scleroderma and several other conditions like that. But speaking of minerals, when you get to selenium, you're going to see how selenium is very good for the thyroid.
Oh, okay, cool. See, when calcium and magnesium excretion through the urine is increased, the person may develop problems with their bone mineral density. And so in turn, this could lead to potential bone pain and poor bone health. And that's a risk of osteoarthritis.
Osteoporosis as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why they check the vitamin D levels. Let's see. I'm just looking for any other.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's the cancerous growth that you were talking
about. Bone mineral density is important, especially in postmenopausal females, because if your bone density becomes less, means you're osteoporotic, means you got porous bones. A simple fall could fracture a hip and put you out of commission for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I've got, like, the densest bones on the face of the earth, because I'm a klutz. I will fall. I don't care what it is. And the only bone, is the top of my foot. One of the smaller bones towards the toes, and the bone in my toe. Those are the only two bones I've ever broke. Knock on wood, even though I was in the military. So calcium is, the function for calcium is for bone and teeth formation, and that regulates nerve and muscle function, your hormones, and blood pressure. So some good sources of that is kelp, seaweed, cheese, carob, molasses, almonds, yeast, parsley, corn, watercress, goat's milk, tofu, figs, sunflower seeds, yogurt, beets, greens, green leafy vegetables, wheat bran, cow's milk, buckwheat, sesame seeds, olives, and broccoli. Good Lord. I think it's funny how the sunflower seeds are in a lot of the different minerals and some of the vitamins. I just can't believe that tiny little seed would provide so much. All right, so calcium. I'm going to go with calcium deficiencies here. Oh, dog, shut up. Sorry, my dog's just being obnoxious. Okay. So what happens when calcium levels are low?
Usually your parasite. Yeah, you have a lot of times it could be a pituitary issue with calcitonin being released, and that could be causing problems with your parathyroid because the parathyroid hormone raises calcium, and your calcitonin lowers calcium. So if you have a calcium deficiency, you want to think a problem with your pituitary gland.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I was just trying to skip some what you just said. So it says, however, the diet is not usually responsible. A calcium deficiency primarily results from health problems such as kidney failure, the removal of the stomach, or use of certain medications such as diuretics. Now, I have never heard of someone having their complete stomach removed. How can a person even function? Would they just be on TPN for the rest of their life? For like stomach cancer?
Well, sometimes they will remove the stomach and they will bring the esophagus down and it will develop a stomach.
Oh.
So
okay.
A lot of times with like a hiatal hernia, sometimes they'll actually remove part of the stomach and bring it up to the esophagus and attach it, or even with some sort of gastric cancers and things. But as long as you have just a piece of the stomach or something that kind of sort of acts like a stomach, you'll have to get certain enzymes and things like that. But you can basically you can make a modified stomach as long as you still have the small intestine, because the small intestine is where most of the breakdown and absorption of minerals and vitamins occur.
But what would they do for the stomach acid?
Well, that's the thing. There's different kinds of pancreatic enzymes that they can release. I give you by mouth that can help break down some of the digested foods that you're eating. But you definitely have to eat special diet for a while, and I don't know all the details, but I've had patients who have not had, they've had their stomachs removed and had, alternate stomachs like with the esophagus or with even just a portion of the stomach, removed most of it, just leave a portion of it and pull it up. And so, you can have some of your stomach, most of your stomach removed, or they'll have to make an alternate one.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because remember, you're hollow from your mouth to your anus. You're just one tube all the way through, and a lot of that tissue is similar. I mean, that you can have ulcerative colitis, little ulcers in the colon, and at the same time be getting ulcers on your tongue. They call aphthous ulcers. And so a lot of times they say, oh, when I get a little sore on my tongue, that means I'm constipated. That's because from your tongue all the way to your anus, it's all the GI tract. It's just differentiated in the tissues and the functions of the tissues.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm shutting up.
Oh, that's okay. No, I used to have to take pancreatic lipase for the longest time. My pancreas would not. I mean, it just wasn't cooperating. And oh my God, that's what they debated. If I had IBS, IBD, Crohn's, colitis, which now it's celiac, but it took them forever to figure it out.
Well.
So
that's AFU.
Some of the other. Huh?
I said that's AFU.
So with calcium deficiency, you can end up with muscle problems, muscle aches, cramps, muscle spasms, pain in your thighs and arms when walking or moving, numbness and tingling in the hands, feet, and legs, and sometimes around your mouth. And most extreme sensations convulsions, arrhythmias, and even death. So, and then you can have extreme fatigue, which can lead to insomnia. And let's see, and also fatigue associated with calcium deficiency can involve lightheadedness, dizziness, and a brain fog. Well, shit, that's most of the time what a lot of us are, in a brain fog. Also, you could have nail and skin symptoms, dry skin, broken skin, and brittle nails. You can have alopecia, eczema, psoriasis, osteopenia, and osteoporosis, severe PMS, which really sucks, and then or PMDD, the premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It's no fun. And you could also end up with dental problems, depression, pretty much it. So postmenopausal women or women with amenorrhea, which is not having your menstruation, lactose tolerant, and vegetarians or vegan diets are a lot of people who have that. So, I mean, a vegan diet is okay, but you have to make sure you supplement the everything that you're not getting. Now, have you ever heard of a vegan not drinking milk or having any dairy products?
Yeah, there's almond milk and there's soy milk.
Oh, okay. But I mean, I guess it depends what kind of vegan you are.
There's substitute milk. I'm sorry?
I mean, is it different? I know there's a vegetarian, a vegan. I mean, is there differences in their diet?
There are different extremes. I mean, there's strictly no animal consumption, even considering like milk or eggs.
Yeah.
And there's also, being a vegetarian, a lot of people from India, I have patients from there that are vegetarians, strict vegetarians, and they're a lot of times they're diet deficient, and we'll see them when they come to the clinic because they'll have certain signs and symptoms, like they'll have what they call a geographic tongue, or they'll have the corners of the lips cracked. That's called callosis. They'll have pitting in their fingernails, sometimes associated with psoriasis, but also associated with other vitamin deficiencies, or brittle nails that break real easy. And we know when these people start getting these, deficiencies, we start recommending diets more in the nuts and the seeds and the fruits, because they can get a lot of those same minerals and vitamins from that Mediterranean type of diet without consuming the animal products.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a lot of times when they're deficient because of their diet, it's because they're not consuming a variety of vegan type foods. They're eating lettuce, which has no nutritional value, except for maybe like the romaine or some of those foods we discussed last week. Yeah. But they think they're vegetarian from eating lettuce, but yeah, they're not.
My granddaughter is a vegetarian, and she's been like that forever. As soon as she found out baby chicks grows on eggs, that was the end of eating eggs. It makes her mother look up any kind of food that she's eaten to make sure there wasn't any kind of animal product in it at all.
Oh, I love it when teenagers like to eat, cakes. Teenagers love cakes, until they find out that it's made with eggs and milk. Huh?
She won't eat cake.
Now she knows.
When I was still married to my second ex-husband, the oldest grandchild would not eat tuna fish. I don't care what you did to it. Would not touch it. And I made tuna fish, and I'm sorry, I did this, and I lied to the child. He asked me what was in tuna, and I said chicken. He's like, really? Yeah, there's chicken inside of it. He goes, okay, I'll eat it. And that child ate tuna fish after that. And yes, I know that was wrong. I know it was wrong. But he still got to eat chicken. And it's just, wow, really? And my kids growing up, they would, my son would not eat a tomato or spaghetti sauce or spaghetti, but he would eat pizza. And I'm like, Child, do you not know that the same stuff that's in pizza sauce is in spaghetti sauce? And I could not tell him any different. To this day, he still will not eat spaghetti at all. And I just, and he's 27 years old. I just don't understand why I cannot convince him otherwise. He just refuses. All right, I gotta let my dogs out real quick. Okay, now they can go bark at my neighbors. Little turds. Okay, the next one is chromium, and that is used for glucose metabolism, growth, insulin, and cholesterol regulation. So, brewer's yeast, beef, liver, whole wheat bread, rye flour, chili, not the chili that you make like 5-alarm chili, but the chili peppers, I guess, oysters, and potatoes. So those are good sources. And let's see. Hold on.
Chromium.
If I could type. If I can type here, I'll be okay. So chromium deficiencies. Let's see. Let's go. Okay. Oh, no, that's definition. You already know what chromium is. Unless you happen to know of some while I look it up. How many chromium deficiencies? Do you? Deficiency. Okay, sorry. I typed bad. So chromium for health, the chromium losses are from increased stress, pregnancy, trauma, infection, exercise, and if I can read this tiny print, I'll be okay. Sorry it's taking so long, guys. Okay. So it's characterized by glucose intolerance, impaired growth, negative nitrogen balance, and peripheral neuropathy. And a particular risk are to the elderly, pregnant women, athletes, and diabetics. And so a number of the conditions is fatigue, hypoglycemia, adult onset diabetes, heart disease, and blurred vision, and diabetes and obesity. So, diabetics can result from a decrease in insulin effectiveness, a deficiency of insulin, or other metabolic disorders. And diabetes is responsible for over 130,000 deaths every year in the United States. And diabetics are 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer from heart disease and 2 to 6 times more likely to suffer from a stroke than non-diabetics. So a deficiency in the chromium can interfere with your insulin's effectiveness. So, and that can also lead to insulin resistance resulting in diabetes. I don't know why I hate that word. I can't even say it right. Or obesity and cardiovascular disease. And so when those three conditions occur together, they're referred to as syndrome X. And chromium can improve insulin resistance and therefore be of assistance to a diabetic and aid in weight loss. Oh, that's like that chromium pincolate that doesn't work on me. It's supposed to help you lose weight, but it don't do squat. So atherosclerosis, which is hardening of the arteries, is the leading contributor to strokes and heart attacks. And that's characterized by an accumulation of fat and cholesterol, which is called plaque, along the the artery's inner walls. And The frequent messengers of death and destruction are our fast foods and our cholesterol-impregnated, refined sugar, and toxin-loaded American diet. And then I did notice about America's diet or food in general compared to that in the UK. They're on a completely different level of eating. They don't, I mean, they have some of the cereals that, like our Fruit Loops and things like that. But they don't eat that for breakfast very often. They don't eat many donuts, pastries. I mean, they have them. Don't get me wrong, they do have them. But if you notice when you go to, like, their B&Bs and some of their hotels, when they do their continental breakfast, it's a full-out breakfast, and you won't get sweets in it. It's like your Canadian, I say Canadian bacon, but it's the same thing that they have over there. But like eggs, those little potato patties and things like that. So they don't really have crappy diets. It's very unusual for them. They do have candy bars and stuff, but people really don't eat them.
There's a saying: if it's white and it comes through a window, if it's white or if it comes through a window, it's not healthy.
If it's white,
yeah, white rice, white sugar, white flour, and anything that you get through a fast food window.
Oh, that's what you meant, through a window. I'm like, what do you mean white or goes through the window? I'm like, okay. Yeah. It's like, what the hell is he talking about? Yeah, me and my son quit eating out last year. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, if it's late and he has to go to work and it's too hot to cook, yeah, we might get pizza. I think twice this month, or maybe 3 times this whole year so far. But that's it. We really don't eat out, and so we've stopped with all of that. That's why I'm surprised I haven't lost weight with all the crap that we've cut out of our diet. We don't eat bread. Very seldom we'll get chips. Usually it's corn chips or the tortilla chips and stuff like that, but no soda. So I'm surprised. My body just hates me right now. So chromium, also you can get it in red meat and seafood and chicken and black pepper, and plus the other items that I had mentioned earlier. But that's about it for chromium. Oh, good Lord. I need a muzzle for my dogs. Copper is the next one, and that's used for the synthesis of enzymes required for iron absorption, red blood cell formation, maintenance of skin and bone, and for nerve formation and collagen synthesis. So some good forms to get copper is oysters, shellfish, nuts, Brazil nut, almonds, hazelnuts, walnuts, pecans, dried beans, split peas, liver, buckwheat, peanuts, lamb, sunflower oil, crab, and copper water pipes. So, yeah, I guess you want to suck on a copper water pipe. Do they even make houses with copper water pipes anymore?
There's some old houses from the 70s still around with them, but a lot of times
the copper. Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot of times the copper oxidizes and then develop pinhole leaks in your walls, and you'll have to change them.
So, yeah, because I know that, like, all the newer homes are made with PVC pipe, and sometimes they have the wrong size, but so copper is more than a metal used to cover pipes. It's present in the body in small amounts, and it helps with, like, functions of the brain, blood, and more. and there's at least 12 enzymes that exist in the body that doctors call Cupro enzymes. Is it Cupro or Cupro? What do you call them? The 12 enzymes that exist.
What do I call them?
Yeah. It's just
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Most enzymes in the word ASE. So if I hear ASE, I know it's an enzyme.
Oh, okay.
Lactate. Like lact is an enzyme. Yeah.
So some of the symptoms of copper deficiency, it's hard for doctors to diagnose because the symptoms, like I've always said on every show, a lot of symptoms match everything under the sun, which is why they do blood tests and all that other good stuff. So low copper levels can affect a person's immune system and energy levels. Always feeling cold, easy bone breakage, easy bruising, fatigue, getting sick easily or frequently, pale skin, poor growth, skin inflammation, skin sores, and unexplained muscle soreness. Huh. That explains me right now. So common causes is because the body mostly absorbs copper in the stomach and in the small intestine. Problems with either organ can directly affect a person's ability to absorb copper. Many times copper deficiency is a result of stomach surgery. Oh, excuse me. Zinc supplementation, is also a common cause of copper deficiency. And because zinc and copper compete for absorption in the stomach, and the zinc being the usual winner, as a result, the copper isn't absorbed. Well, that's not fair. Copper deficiency in hair. Because copper plays an important role in melanin formation, the lack of copper can affect a person's hair. Melanin is important for pigmentation of the person's hair. Therefore, some doctors theorize that low copper levels could affect a person's hair color, potentially leading to premature graying. However, the links between copper and hair color changes and hair loss haven't been widely studied. So, and they found no connection between blood copper levels and alopecia. So, So to diagnose copper deficiency, a doctor will take the health history and ask what kind of medications and supplements you're taking. So they consider your symptoms when evaluating for you for copper deficiency, which includes excess zinc supplementation, a history of bariatric surgery, a gastrectomy, or upper gastrointestinal surgery, malabsorption syndrome such as celiac or IBD, and that's where a person may not fully absorb all the nutrients. So let's see. So the initial treatment of copper deficiency may depend on why your copper levels are low in the first place. So if you're taking too much zinc, they recommend cutting down on it, on the zinc supplements.
Or
so
too much iron.
Because now see, that's what I understand. Are they still treating COVID patients with zinc?
Absolutely. Yes, they are.
Okay, but how much are they giving of the zinc? So they're saying, so if you have too much zinc, you're cutting in on your copper intake. But can they get is there a vitamin that has, or is it like a one a day, where it has everything in it?
Yeah, it's a multivitamin and mineral.
Oh, okay.
You look at the one a day plus, or the one a day for like 50 and over. I mean, there's a bunch of different vitamins, and many of those multivitamins also contain minerals. And so when choosing a vitamin, make sure it has a good source of vitamins and minerals. And my recommendation on vitamins is try to purchase ones that are in a capsular form, not a tablet form, because I believe they absorb a lot faster and easier than some of the tablet forms. And the tablets have some phthalates in them, which your body really doesn't need. So, capsules are the better form of the multivitamin and minerals, but they're more expensive. And so you have to go whatever your pocketbook can afford. And remember, by taking a supplement, they do not work unless they have something to bind to, which means you have to take them with food.
Yes. That's like the vitamin that I've been taking, for energy, metabolism, bone, and immune support. It only has boron, and that's it for a mineral. Everything else is just vitamins. So I might have my vitamin.
Yeah.
Oh, and those gummies, they're low sugar. Very little sugar.
Talk to your doctor first, because he could probably give you some insights on certain medications and other things or conditions you may have that you may not want to take certain minerals or certain vitamins.
Oh, true.
So don't just jump on. If you're just a general healthy person, life in the fast lane, and you're not living well, a multivitamin with a mineral supplement is going to help you. But a lot of times you can do micronutrient testing and see what you might be deficient in and might need to replace. That would be the best way to go. You need to find yourself a functional medicine doctor, and that's what you do. That's what I do.
I don't know if the VA provides that kind.
Mm-hmm. Like, once again, medicine is a privilege. It's not a right, and a lot of it has to do with what your pocketbook can afford. So otherwise, you're going to be stuck with whatever insurance company will pay for or whatever the VA offers. It's not always the right thing for you, but it's all you can get. So you got to take what you can get, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I know. And usually she'll ask, because sometimes, depending on the doctor, they'll just say, well, what do you think? I don't know. You're the one with the medical degree. And I've ended up in that situation. And, it's like, well, how about we do this? How about we, and they'll go for it, but it's like, wow. I met a lot of VA doctors.
Well, sometimes if you got a good VA doctor, I have some good VA doctors here in Harlingen, Texas, is where I go to the VA. And it's a really good VA facility there. And the doctors, they're practicing acupuncture, and they're trying to do some functional medicine. And they'll tell you straight up, look, the VA's not going to cover this. This may be the best thing for you, but this is what we can offer you. But if you want to seek out this, then this is, you can go do that. It might be better for you. So they give you the option, even though they may not have the treatments available. And that's what I like about these VA doctors here in Harlingen. And then a lot of times there's a lot of resident students who are in here treating vets. They're trying to get their hours and do the residencies with the VA. Yeah. And, they have some really good, fresh book knowledge coming out of school. No common sense whatsoever. No bedside manner whatsoever. But, these guys have a lot of good information, and if you just try to pick their brains, because, hell, we all have access to Dr. Google, We can say, hey, well, it said that this might be the best treatment, and if that doctor tries to blow you a line of bullshit, you're going to know it right away.
Well, see, that's what I like about the VA. There's 2 VA hospitals in Tennessee. One of them is in Murfreesboro, and the other one is in Nashville. The one from Murfreesboro, they're in a whole lot of trouble, and their doctors come from their doctor students. I cannot think of the medical school, but they're not good. And like you said, they have no bedside manner at all. And Vanderbilt will send their students over to the one in Nashville. And there's actually a tunnel that connects Vanderbilt Hospital to the VA hospital, because they're within 2 city blocks of each other. And they're pretty good. I do have to say, the Nashville VA's got some excellent, especially cardiologists. So anyway, iodine is the next one, and that's a synthesis of thyroid hormones. And some excellent sources is seaweed, your kelp, clams, shrimp, haddock, shellfish, salmon, sardines, liver, pineapple, eggs, peanuts, whole wheat bread, cheese, pork, lettuce, and spinach. I did not know there was iron in pineapple. Did not know that. Now, unfortunately for myself, I'm allergic to iodine, and they always thought it was shellfish. It's not. It's the iodine that I'm actually allergic to. So I can't have any procedure that has, the barium swallow that has iodine in it. Anything like that.
But usually it's not the barium swallow. Usually it's like a MRI with contrast or a CT with contrast. But they do have a water-based contrast that can be used in place of it.
Really? Because every time I've gone, they're like, "Oh, we have nothing else we could do." I'm like, "Fine, I don't care." But I had to have a heart cath done, and they had to pre-medicate me with Benadryl. What was it? Ranitidine or one of those stomach medicines and something else because of the iodine they have. I guess it's in the dye that they use, and I still broke out in hives everywhere, and they still had issues with the iodine. But people who don't have enough iodine, the highest at risk is pregnant women, people who live in countries where there's very little iodine in the soil. That's like Southeast Asia, South Asia, New Zealand, and European countries. And also people who don't use iodized salt, which is me, and people who follow a vegetarian or vegan diet. But like with the people who don't use iodized salt, there's already iodine in all those food sources. I mean, I don't know how much more iodine that you really need, but so some of the issues you could have, like the swelling in the neck, they could also get a goiter. Isn't it a goiter from the iodine, or is that from thyroid problems?
Goiter is an enlarged thyroid.
Okay. Yeah, and it says swelling in front of the neck is the most common symptom of iodine deficiency. Oh, duh, I should have read it. Yeah, it's right there. It's called the goiter.
Because the thyroid gland, most of the iodine that you consume or absorb is actually the thyroid is a magnet for iodine. So it grabs all of that iodine because it takes 3 molecules of iodine and it turns it into thyroxine. And then it also turns it into the T4 and the free T3, which are basically triple molecules of iodine. And so that iodine is actually your thyroid hormone. But it's, the thyroid converts it into that. So whenever they want to stop your thyroid from over-functioning, they will lace iodine with radioactive isotope and inject it in you, and your body, your thyroid, will suck up all of that radioactive iodine, and that radioactive iodine will burn that thyroid up. And so that's what they call a radioactive iodine ablation of the thyroid. But because the thyroid sucks up all the iodine it gets, but the iodine is important for the formation of the thyroid hormone, per se, or enzyme. It's hormone. Thyroxine.
Unexpected weight gain is another problem. It may occur if the body doesn't have enough iodine to make thyroid hormones. And this is because the thyroid hormones help control the speed of your metabolism, and that's how the body converts food into energy and to heat. So when your thyroid hormone levels are low, your body burns fewer calories at rest. So, unfortunately, it means more calories from food you eat are stored up as fat. Is it true? Now, I've heard this so many times from so many nutritionists and all these, whatever, health gurus. I know starvation diets don't work. I understand that. But is it true that if you don't take in enough calories, your body will keep everything because it doesn't know when you're going to get an excess of calories? Is that true?
You can answer that question by looking up the definition of the following two terms. Something called your total daily energy expenditure. That's the first one. Total daily energy expenditure. And compare that with your basal metabolic rate. Find the definition of those two. Find the definition of those two terms, and that will answer your question.
Oh, sure. Gonna make me work for
Google
this?
Hey,
no,
I could give you a fish, or I could teach you to fish, right?
I know. I know my BMI is too high. I do know that.
Not a BMI, your basal metabolic rate. BMI is a bone. Okay. Yeah, it's something else.
It came up as the wrong thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
Crap.
BMR, basal metabolic rate.
No, when I did it, it was the first one that came up.
Yeah.
BMR calculator.
Well, what's the definition? What's the definition of a basal metabolic rate, and what's the definition of a total daily energy expenditure?
Okay, so the basal metabolic rate calculator estimates your basal metabolic rate, the amount of energy expended while at rest in a neutrally temperate environment and a post-absorptive state, meaning that the digestive system is inactive, which requires about 12 hours of fasting.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you don't want to look up. You don't want to look up the calculator. You just want to look up the definition of it. Just a Webster.
Oh, I thought that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Don't look up the calculator. Look up the definition of basal metabolic rate.
Okay. Fine. Well, it's not. That says calculate. Well, why doesn't it have just a damn definition? That's all this has is the calculator. Okay. Let me put definition. Let me see if that works. My definition. Okay. BMR. Okay. So it says the BMR is the rate of energy expenditure per unit time by endothermic animals at rest. It is reported in energy units per unit time ranging from watt.
That's crazy. That's real scientific. Basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories your body needs at rest.
Okay.
Just for life function. The minimum amount of calories your body needs at rest.
Okay. Yeah,
I know.
I'm looking at
daily.
it still.
Now look up. See if you can find the definition of the total daily energy expenditure.
Oh, I did that one. Hold on. Let me make sure I got to there. That's the reason why it takes me forever to research stuff, because I'm not knowing exactly. Okay. So your total daily energy expenditure is an estimation of how many calories you burn per day when exercise is taken into account. It is calculated by first figuring out your BMR and then multiplying that by an activity multiplier.
All right. So in essence, what the TDEE, total daily energy expenditure, is the calories that your body needs when it's not at rest. But if you go above it, you will gain weight. If you go below it, you will lose weight. So the total daily energy expenditure is what we use as a guide to help us decide on how many calories per day a person should consume if they want to lose weight or if they want to gain weight, depending on the situation. But we cannot ever go below the basic metabolic rate, because then the body starts holding on to everything it can get. Because it becomes in crisis mode. Because the body needs a certain amount of calories just to function, just for breathing. You know, it needs that energy to breathe, to blink the eye, you know, to beat the heart. That's the BMR. The basic metabolic rate is how many calories your body needs when it's at rest doing nothing. The total daily energy expenditure is the amount of calories your body needs to function normally without gaining or losing weight, and it's given in calories. So if I see that you have a total daily energy expenditure of 2,400 calories with a basic metabolic rate of 1,800 calories, I'm going to recommend that you get on a 2,000-calorie diet along with exercise, and that is going to allow you to lose weight because you're under the total daily energy. If you go above the total daily, you're going to gain weight, and that's the really critical thing when it comes to calories and consumption and energy. And so total daily energy expenditure, a lot of people don't realize is you know, these things can be calculated by simply buying one of those scales that have the little metal plates on it for your feet, and it'll calculate a lot of that stuff for you. You can even sometimes those things can even tell you what your cholesterol are, but we do them in the clinic with some special tests that we do. If you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to gain weight, we'll find out what your BMR is, and we'll find out what your TDEE is, and we'll find a happy medium, so you'll get at least your basal metabolic and less than your total daily, and that constantly changes. So in 4 weeks when you come back, I check it again, and I adjust the levels as we go along. And so that's, if you want to lose weight or you want to gain weight, you need to become familiar with those terms.
Well, I'm going to keep the two things here because I'm going to read up more on it later on. But yeah, okay.
Sorry, we got off subject again. Sorry.
No, that's okay because I didn't know that, and because I get less than 2,000 calories a day, and see, it was like you can either follow your fat, your calories, your carbs, or whatever, and it's like I can't do all of them.
Yeah, but see, the problem with that, Doc, is that there's some obese patients, for example, that their BMRs are 2,200 calories per day. And they're doing a 2,000-calorie diet, and they're not losing weight, and they don't understand why. Because they're below their BMR.
Okay. And that could be what my problem is, too.
Yeah, you just have to get your BMR calculated and your TDEE calculated, and then every now and then, get it reassessed so you can, get your calories to the right place. People who don't exercise, they're also at risk for not losing weight because you're not getting calories, but you're also not burning off of stored adipose tissue as well. And so you got to burn some of that fat tissue too. You need the body heat to melt the fat. Just keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah. I wish I could. And so one thing about exercising that really aggravates my daughter is she hardly ever sweats. I mean, I don't care what she's doing. Me, I could just do one thing and I'm like sweating profusely. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. And she doesn't understand why her body doesn't sweat much. I mean, she does, but not as much as I do. Oh, my God. So you can also have fatigue and weakness with low iodine, hair loss, dry, flaky skin, feeling colder than usual. Yeah. I think I'm going to have my doctor check on my
thyroid.
My blood.
Yeah, thyroid. Your thyroid.
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
You're talking about iodine still?
Yeah, I'm done now. And then changes in heart rate. are some of the deficiencies. Okay, now let me get back to that one. Okay, so iron. Oh, I gotta turn the light on because I can barely see. Hold on one second. We have light. Okay, so iron is your red blood cell function, your energy and release, growth, bone regulation, healthy respiration, skin and nails. So some good sources is kelp, yeast, molasses, wheat bran, pumpkin seeds, liver, sunflower seeds, millet, parsley, clams, almonds, prunes, cashews, red meat, raisins, nuts, chard, dandelion leaves, dates, cooked dried beans, eggs, lentils, brown rice, dried apricots, and raw chocolate. And I take the raw chocolate they're referring to as like really, really, really dark chocolate.
Yeah, not special dark chocolate, but dark chocolate.
Yeah.
It comes from cocoa, right?
Yeah. I know the darker the chocolate, the better. I hate to say the word healthier, but it's what they prefer over milk chocolate and lower ones. So, okay. So iron deficiency anemia is one of the biggest causes for lack of iron. And a lot of, looking for a better iron deficiency guide. Here we go.
Your most common cause of iron deficiency anemia is a very heavy menstrual cycle, blood loss.
Yep. And also, I was also anemic while I was pregnant, too. I don't know if that's in all women.
The second most common of iron deficiency anemia is malabsorption through the intestines. That's the small intestines, usually is the distal portion. People who have bowel resections, they don't absorb iron well, and so they end up having to get iron infusions versus taking by mouth or trying to get dietary iron.
Yeah, it's an inadequate diet. Like you said, the poor absorption of iron resulting from surgical removal of part or all of the stomach or intestine, IBD, celiac, chronic blood loss from heavy menstrual periods, bleeding in the urine, which is rare, excessive blood donation, and a parasitic hookworm infestation. So,
and that's usually like any kind of parasitic infection can cause blood loss anemia, basically, because they're sucking your blood out of you. That's what they're doing. The most important thing about iron for your listeners, I think, Doc, iron is needed to make the heme molecule in your red blood cell for oxygen to bind to. Without iron, your red blood cells are not going to bind oxygen very well, and your tissues aren't going to, be oxygenated or revitalized because you don't have very good red blood cells. And usually the count will drop down and your red blood cells will be very low because you don't have iron to make the heme molecule on the red blood cell, and you need that heme molecule to grab the oxygen from your lungs when it transfers. So that's the real important thing about iron is just oxygen transfer and then the CO2 expulsion.
Yeah. And,
so that's why
the
people are
blood
tired.
Test is a CBC.
Yeah. The first sign of iron deficiency anemia is being very tired. You're no energy. And your fingernails are no longer pink. They turn white. If you look at the conjunctiva of the eye or just pull the bottom eyelid down and see that it's not pink, and it's like when there's no blood in it, that's a sign of iron deficiency, or most anemias. Sunken eyes.
And let's see. And so you can also take the iron tablets, you know, if that's what they put you on. It says after about 6 months of daily iron tablets, the body's iron stores will usually return to normal in an average adult who has a poor iron diet. If that doesn't happen, it's also because they're not taking them as directed.
Yeah, but iron's very harsh on the GI tract, and a lot of people develop constipation from it. And so you know, they'll get tummy pains, they'll get constipation. So iron is definitely, you know, difficult to take as a supplement, but a lot of times it's much needed. Once again, get back to functional medicine. You want to correct the underlying cause. What's causing the blood loss? You need not to just treat the iron deficiency. You need to find what's causing the problem. You could have a bleeding
like putting
ulcer.
a Band-Aid on it. Huh?
Yeah, you could have a bleeding ulcer, or your periods could be heavy. Maybe you're polycystic, you know. It could maybe you have polyp, or maybe you have what they call uterine myelomas or fibroids, and so your periods are a lot heavier than they're supposed to be. And so if you can correct the underlying problem, then there's no need for this iron supplementation. Now, all prenatal vitamins have iron in them, along with folic acid to help prevent tubal defects. So that's why when you're pregnant, you can develop an iron deficiency, because your body's actually using a lot more oxygen, because now you got a parasite growing in you, basically. It's sucking off your blood. So I hate to say that. But, you know,
I know.
That's how. Sorry about that. That's not right.
Oh, no, that's okay. So the next one is magnesium, and that's for the function of that is for synthesis of proteins, carbs, and lipids. DNA repair, energy production, modulation of muscle activity, homeostasis of calcium, heart, and circulation health. So apparently kelp is an excellent source of every mineral if you can eat it. Seaweed, wheat bran, wheat germ, almonds, cashews, molasses, brewer's yeast. That does not mean that you can drink beer and get the same effect. If that's what the brewer's yeast is for, I have no idea. Buckwheat, Brazil nuts, millet, rye, tofu, beet greens, coconut meat. Okay. Oh, the coconut. Never mind. Sorry, I had a brain fart.
Doug,
I'm
real confused.
like coconut meat. Huh?
I get. Now that's something that maybe you can help me with. I'm real confused about the different types of magnesium, because there's magnesium that helps with muscle and joint pain, and then there's magnesium that also helps with constipation and GI tract issues. And so it's a gluconate versus a glycinate, and you know, I can look up the definitions of them, but I still don't understand the mechanism of action and how the how the magnesium helps. For example, you give a woman a certain magnesium with a naproxen, and they no longer have menstrual cramps or the pain from a rupturing ovarian cyst. Or you give them the wrong magnesium, and then now they develop diarrhea. And so there's certain types of magnesium, and that's where I'm at a loss for right now. And maybe I just need to sit down.
Well, there's manganese and magnesium, and the
manganese. Manganese is different though, right? But how about magnesium glycinate versus magnesium gluconate? Because those are the ones you're going to see at the stores on the shelf.
Yeah.
Now, which one are you going to take? Are you going to take the one for muscle pains and body aches, or are you going to take the one for the chronic constipation or something? You know, like they have milk of magnesium, right?
Yeah. Which one did you say? Did you say mag citrate?
There's a magnesium citrate. There's a magnesium gluconate, and there's a magnesium glycate. And all three are on the shelf, but which one would be recommended? That's the thing.
Oh, well, the mag citrate, that's the one they give you to get rid of constipation. Yeah. And they also will give you the bottles of that whenever you have to have an upper and lower GI.
Right. Sometimes to clean you out.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that stuff sucks. And when that,
it's not that go lightly. It's not go lightly because that's an oxymoron.
That's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. I've done both. There's no such thing as go lightly. I'm telling you. Let me see. What was the other one? That was citrate. Oh, here we go.
How about gluconate or glycinate?
That's what. Okay, magnesium malate is. Here we go. Which is the best magnesium supplement? Okay, they got all three of them. Okay, magnesium is one of the most important nutrients for the human health. Let's see. What's the person just writing it? Let me see. Different forms of magnesium are metabolized and have different effects on the body, and some provide negligible effects, some strong effects, some stronger, and some this person would consider superior. See, magnesium, the master mineral. Oh, come on. Blood sugar balance.
You could probably spend a whole show on magnesium because of the different types and the way they're used.
Yeah. Well, it also, the fundamental role of magnesium is from a cellular level, this energy is created in the mitochondria in the form of a model called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. I'm looking for the one that has the different magnesiums and what. This has fibromyalgia, migraines, anxiety, muscle cramps, weakness.
Which one is that, Doc? Which one is that? Magnesium what?
Magnesium. This is.
What type of magnesium?
And that's what I'm looking for. Come on. It said it had all three of them. Oh, okay. There's malate, glycinate, chloride, taurate, or the citrate, and then I can't pronounce the other one to save my life. The malate is bonded to malic acid. The malic acid is naturally occurring in many foods, especially fruits. And that's theorized to be the best suited for improving energy disorders. Talking about the Krebs cycle is the biological process that's responsible for manufacturing ATP. And let's see. So that was that. The glycinate, it's a compound made up of magnesium and the amino acid glycine. And that is one of the most bioavailable forms of magnesium. And people can sometimes end up with diarrhea from the glycinate. Let's see. And then it's L-T-H-R-E-O-N-A-T-E. And I'm not going to butcher it. It's a newer form of magnesium with significant implications for mental health, and especially for cognitive boosting ability. And they're also saying against Alzheimer's that people should take that one brand of magnesium. Consequently, that form of magnesium supplement has been shown to improve measures of cognitive abilities, long-term memory, and learning. And the citrate, let's see, it's unique because it's one of the only ones that is naturally acidic, and that's due to it being bound to citric acid, and a common food additive that also occurs in citrus fruits. And two notable properties of the form of magnesium are its ability to aid in bowel movement, as well as potentially help with oxalate metabolism. So that's the one they give for that. And the magnesium chloride, let me see, that helps to assure proper conduction of impulses within the nervous system. And it works with potassium, sodium, calcium, phosphate, and magnesium to assure proper muscle contraction and control your blood pressure. And it says inferior magnesium supplement forms. They're often cheap, but they're relatively low bioavailability, including oxide, dihydroxide, milk of magnesia, the sulfate, aspartate, carbonate forms. And they don't absorb well, and they tend to differ little benefit beyond laxative or antacid. And magnesium sulfate, also known as Epsom salt, and they recommend it for soaking. And I've used the Epsom salt to soak. And that's, I mean, this one particular this site that I found, I mean, it's really in depth of every, like you said, it could probably take an hour just on this one page of every single thing that each of the different magnesiums do.
Yeah, magnesium is very important mineral, but if you don't get the right one, you might have a bad day. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah, that's what they were saying. You will.
Yeah. Yep.
And I try to stay away from the mag citrate as all possible.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with constipation. When I worked in the nursing homes, we used to give you take 4 ounces of prune juice. No, not 4. It was 2. 2 ounces of prune juice. You heat it up, and you give the whatever the dosage of the milk of mag and what's that oil? Not is it castor oil? No, mineral oil. You mix it up, and if they're severely constipated, that will lube them up, and they will be going to the bathroom for the next, I don't know, forever, and they don't stop. But yeah, we used to give those all the time in the nursing home. We had standing orders for it, for constipation. We got plenty of time. We only have 1, 2, 3. We got 4 left. So phosphorus is for healthy.
Is nitric oxide on your list?
We have phosphorus, potassium, selenium, and zinc.
Yeah, go through those. They're important.
Yeah, so phosphorus is for healthy bones, calcium homeostasis, RNA and DNA synthesis, energy, metabolism, production, and a vitamin B activator. So some sources, there's a lot. Brewer's yeast, wheat bran, wheat germ, pumpkin seeds, Brazil nuts, sesame seeds, dried beans, almonds, cheese, rye, peanuts, cashews, liver, scallops, millet, barley, seaweed, chicken, brown rice, eggs, garlic, crab, mushrooms, and milk. And
we're talking potassium?
Phosphorus.
You're talking phosphorus. Okay, phosphorus.
Yeah. The potassium is next. Let's see. Mom, here's all what it does. Nope. It doesn't have any. Well, damn. It doesn't have what it means for like a deficiency. Let's see. A low phosphorus diet. So is that helpful for kidney disease?
Google hypophosphatemia.
Hypophosphatemia. Okay, that's a spelling challenge.
Yeah.
Is it
autocorrect?
Hypo. Oh, look! All I had to do was put hypo, and I already knew.
Hypo.
It's like my laptop.
You came up,
Yeah.
You got a smart laptop. Yeah.
No, it's called Uncle Sam's listening. No, just kidding. That's what they say.
Yeah,
You know, when,
big brother.
When you're, I'm like, Okay, so hypophosphatemia is an abnormal level of low phosphate in the blood. It's an electrolyte that helps your body with energy production and nerve function. Phosphate also helps build your bones and teeth. And there are two types of hypophosphatemia, acute and chronic. The acute, it comes on quickly, and the chronic is when it happens over time. And familial hypophosphatemia is a rare form of the disease that's passed down through families. It can also lead to rickets, which is a softening of the bones, called osteomalacia. And most people with the familial form have X-linked familial XLH.
It's genetic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's genetic. It's also, they also have another form of the disease is hereditary hypophosphatemic rickets. Is that rickets rare now, or is that do a lot of people have it?
Well, rickets has a lot to do, I believe, with vitamin D absorption and vitamin D absorption, and that's why a lot of your milk will have phosphate in it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I believe rickets has to do with vitamin D deficiency, and so
I think it does.
you can. I'd have to look that up though, Doc. My mind is blank right now. But
yeah,
I would have to look up rickets.
It says because phosphorus is so widespread in food that dietary phosphorus deficiency is rare. It's extremely rare. But if you do have it, you could have muscle weakness, fatigue, bone pain, bone fractures, appetite loss, irritability, numbness, confusion, slow growth, and shorter than normal height in children. Tooth decay or late baby teeth. And that's if you have the familial kind. So the causes, so because phosphate is found in so many foods, it's rare to have a deficiency unless you're malnourished. If you're malnourished,
rickets is a vitamin D deficiency, and I think phosphorus helps you to metabolize vitamin D.
Oh, yes, and there it is. Some of the causes of it is severe malnutrition, such as anorexia and starvation, alcoholism, severe burns, diabetic ketoacidosis, or DKA, the kidney disorder Fanconi syndrome, excessive parathyroid hormone, chronic diarrhea.
That sounds Italian. Bobby, it's one of Bobby's relatives.
What?
I said that Fanconi sounds Italian. It's probably one of Bobby's in-laws. Wait, they're Sicilian. That's different.
Just add a few letters to it and change it around.
Your sister is Sicilian.
Yeah, she sure is. I love her to death, though. I don't care what she is.
But yes, it is vitamin D deficiency in children. Yeah, it's for the rickets.
A lot of sailors in the olden days would get rickets and scurvy, which was lack of vitamin C as well. Yeah,
the lack of the citrus fruits and stuff. So low phosphate levels may also be due to long-term or excess use of certain drugs, like diuretics, antacids, the ones that bind to phosphate, theophylline, bronchodilators, and other asthma medicines, corticosteroids, mannitol, insulin, glucagon, and androgens, nutrients such as glucose, fructose, glycerol, lactate, and amino acids, biphosphonates, Zovirax, and Tylenol. Huh. I didn't know about Tylenol.
Me neither.
See, you learn something every week. I'm telling you. That's why I like doing these.
That's why I told you. I'm always learning too.
Let's see.
Can I get CMEs for it?
Huh?
Can I get CME credit for this?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, let's just try. Let's see if we could do that. So there's a couple complications. Is death of muscle tissue, rhabdomyolysis, breathing failure, hemolytic anemia, and arrhythmia. So those are some serious complications. And we have potassium. Or did we?
Important.
Never mind.
Potassium's important.
Potassium, yes.
It can kill you. Potassium can kill you.
Too much or not enough can kill you.
Too much.
Mine's always,
Too much potassium can kill you. It causes arrhythmias in the heart circulation, heart rhythms. And too little can cause a lot of leg cramps or muscle cramps and things like that.
Every time I've been to the hospital with chest pains and they do that damn blood work, my potassium's always in the toilet. And they make me swallow them horse pills. And I'm like, here. Yep. I'm like, don't you have this in a liquid?
Yeah, well, people with problems with their kidneys or on diuretics, depending on the type, there's potassium-sparing diuretics, but just the general Lasix or just general diuretics, even hydrochlorothiazide they use for like high blood pressure, can cause depleting potassium. Someone who's peeing a lot can cause low levels of potassium, and so start getting cramping and things like that. You definitely need to replace that potassium. But the problem with high levels of potassium is it causes arrhythmias in your cardiac rhythm and can actually cause the lethal injection is a high dose of potassium, and that's one of the chloride, things that they use. Yeah. So potassium can be dangerous. So you want to get your bananas. You want to eat your fruits. There's not a lot of potassium, not enough to hurt you, but it's enough to stop a lot of the muscle aches and pains that people do have.
Yeah. See, and I didn't realize there was this many foods. I mean, they don't have as much as bananas and potatoes, but like seaweed, sunflower seeds, wheat germ, almonds, raisins, nuts, dates, figs, yams. And I take the yams is probably not loaded with the brown sugar and cinnamon, and the marshmallow. So, if you want to eat them without all that stuff, garlic, spinach, millet, dried beans, mushrooms, broccoli, red meat, squash, chicken, carrots, and potatoes. Also strawberries. And I didn't know that about strawberries either. And I really only knew of the potato, strawberry, and bananas. And my son, he plays football. Well, now he does soccer. He's the head coach for soccer, and he gets a lot of leg cramps, a lot, especially if you sweat a lot. And that's why when we talk about like during the summertime, or actually any time, when you lose a lot of your electrolytes, that's why it's important to stay hydrated too. And if
that's a lot of your sports drinks are high in potassium, Gatorade and those other sports. Yeah. Yep.
Now, and I've always heard a lot of people have their difference of opinion of Gatorade, Powerade, or Pedialyte. And now I guess they made a new Pedialyte for adults, like that play sports and things like that. But I go for the zero sugar.
A lot of them are high in salt, and a lot of them are high in sugar. And so for diabetics, it's not always the best choice. For people with high blood pressure, because of the sodium content, it's always not the best choice. And so for the adult versions, there are, electrolyte supplementations that are low in sodium and low in sugar. So maybe that's what these newer forms of the adult Pedialyte are.
Although they do make sugar-free. They do make sugar-free Gatorade and Powerade.
And low sodium also.
Yeah, and to me, they taste the same. Well, they're not as sweet, which is okay. But once you hit, and like during the summertime, I know we'll probably do another show on heat stroke and heat exhaustion and all of that. But once you get into heat stroke and heat exhaustion, you can guzzle as much water as you want, and it's too late, pretty much. At least that's what they told us in the military. And that's when you need to do the electrolyte replacement and IV fluids. And it has to do with all that complicated osmosis and cool stuff.
Well, one of the biggest problems I've encountered with heat stroke or heat exhaustion has been the rhabdomyolysis, where you're actually breaking down muscle tissue. You do a urinalysis and the protein levels are real high, and so when you just send it out, so it's the muscle breakdown as a result of the heat exhaustion. I would say heat stroke is similar. You still get the rhabdomyolysis, but heat stroke is a little more severe. But electrolyte replacement is one of the key treatments for it.
The one thing I noticed is I had a heat stroke in basic training, and ever since then, I have a very poor tolerance of heat. I can't stand it. Once it gets into 80 degrees and higher, I'm done. I'm staying inside. I cannot stand the heat. And also the same goes for the excessive cold. I can't. I need that happy medium between 65 and 75 degrees. And I swear there's nowhere to live that has that.
Yeah, well, a lot of that is acclimation, sweetheart. Your body will acclimate to wherever you live, but if it was always cold, your body would acclimate to the cold, and then a certain cold would be too cold.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It seems like it screwed it up.
Yeah. So a lot of elderly will move to southern climates, and then it becomes too hot for them. And so they're like, okay, my body's not hurting as much as when I was up in Minnesota, but now that I'm here in Texas, the heat is too much for me too, and so. But your body will acclimate to wherever you're at if you're there long enough. But there will also be extremes. It'll either be too hot at a certain point or too cold.
Oh yeah.
When I lived in Philly, I used to go out and they would have all the snow drifts on the side of the road, and we'd make tunnels and caves and slides all through those snow drifts, be wet and frozen cold and ice skating and all the time, no problem. So when I came to Texas, it was super hot for me. It took me about 3 years for my body to change to this. Now, when I go back to the East Coast and it's super cold or colder climates, I can't stand it. It's just too cold for me. And I was like, man, this doesn't make sense. But your body will change. It'll acclimate.
I think my body hates me for that because I was born in South Florida, and then I moved to Georgia, and then I moved to Boston and also New Hampshire, and then I moved back to Georgia, back to Florida, and then went to Texas, and then Tennessee, West Virginia, and now I'm in Kansas. And my body's like, look, dude, just stop somewhere because there's the humid heat, dry heat. Kansas is freaking windy heat, but thank God you have a breeze because it's too damn dry. And, I mean, the only good thing is I noticed with the cold here where we're at, we don't have as much snow, but it's the wind that gets you. And when we had those, the polar vortex that came through, we were at -10 without the wind. And I stayed inside. I'm like, screw this shit. I'm not going out. So let me do this real quick. So some of the issues with low potassium is weakness and fatigue, muscle cramps and spasms, digestive problems, heart palpitations, muscle aches and stiffness, tingling and numbness, which is paresthesia, which is usually in the hand, arms, legs, and feet, breathing difficulties, mood changes, and that's pretty much it for the potassium. But it is very important to keep your electrolytes, all in balance. Which one's more important, selenium or zinc? We got 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. Selenium, I'll go with selenium because we already talked about zinc once. It's an antioxidant, a detoxification of chemicals, carcinogens, sperm health, reproductive system health, fertility, thyroid health, and DNA repair. So some of the sources is butter, herring, wheat germ, Brazil nuts, cider vinegar. It doesn't say if it's apple cider vinegar, but it just says cider vinegar. Scallops, barley, lobster, shrimp, oats, chard, shellfish, crab, milkfish, red meat, molasses, garlic, barley, eggs, mushrooms, and alfalfa. Okay.
I got a trivia question.
Huh?
I got a trivia question. Maybe we can find the answer for next week.
Okay.
You know, you were talking about yams.
Yeah.
Well, what is the chemical in sweet potato that is a natural testosterone booster, increases male libido, and increases enhancement? It's in sweet potato, which is, I guess we're talking about yams.
Yeah.
Candied yams.
Yeah, that's what it said yams, but I'm gonna write this down before I forget.
Yeah, I'm sure Bobby would like to know.
Start doing is trivia questions and see how much people are paying attention.
There's a natural testosterone booster in candied yams. What is it and why? Why does it work? That's a good question.
All right, good. So everybody, remember that if you don't want to call in, you could always message us. And we'll go from there. So 4 signs of selenium deficiency. Let's see. Selenium deficiency is not common in normal, healthy individuals. In some rare cases, lack of adequate sources of this element will cause significant health risks. And one of the main causes of it is eating food grown in soil without sufficient selenium. And, of course, how would you know if you're not a farmer? General fatigue, hypothyroidism, mental fatigue, and reproductive disorders. And the pediatric risks can impact a pediatric patient in especially harmful ways. Medical experts refer to Keyshawn disease, which can be caused by selenium deficiency, and it leads to a specific heart condition where a weakening of the heart impacts general health. And parents and guardians can generally use panel tests to establish whether a child is getting the right range of vitamins and minerals. So, yeah. Well, that is it. Oh, that goes on something else. Oh, this says if you're feeling nauseous, I don't know if this goes with it. No, that doesn't. That was all there was for the selenium. Sorry. They ended up putting up multiple things on this one website, but that's all I have. We are done. We finished. Everybody still awake?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I'm here.
Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
Free beer.
Free beer. So yeah, that's about it for the vitamins and minerals. Like I said, if anyone has any questions, just let us know. And like I said, I got that book. It's called Foods That Heal, or Healing Foods, and it's a great source. That's where I got all the information for the vitamins and minerals, and it has pretty much every food in here and what it helps with different illnesses, and and it says you how to prepare it, what it provides. I mean, it's a really good book. And I got it from I got it from Barnes and Nobles. So if anybody wants to get a copy of it, I can give them the number, the ISBN number, and you can just look it up and get it from wherever you want. Yay, we're done.
Hey, so what do you
week?
think we're going to talk? What are you going to talk about next week?
I don't know. That's what I was just going to ask. What is a good thing to cover? I mean, I think it's important things to cover. Give me a hint. I mean, we covered the phthalates and we covered the BPA, but you were gone that week.
Oh yeah, I missed that.
Yeah.
Have you covered? Have you covered the different COVID-19 vaccines?
We did, but there's a lot more stuff coming up with them, so it might do a little bit of a refresher on it and cover. I did what each one, the ingredients of each of them were, but having your input would also help too.
Wow.
So sure,
right,
we'll
we
cover
got 2 minutes left.
Okay.
How about
so
that?
Yeah, we'll do the 4 COVID vaccines next week.
How about Viagra and women's libido? You know, Viagra works for women's libido too. Is that right?
No, we covered the show on male and female reproductive issues, and some people couldn't handle it, and they had to leave the show.
Oh really? Yeah, I think I was part of that one because I think you had a viewer ask me something very interesting.
Yes, that's right.
Because I was broadcasting live from a tavern.
Good Lord. You got 2 minutes, Bobby.
Well, hey.
Or maybe a minute.
Hey, Bob, see if Kim can give me a link to her Facebook somehow, and I can shoot her like on the side some info maybe once in a while, or she could just throw me some stuff.
Cool.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Oh, nice one there, buddy. Nice one. Yeah, you know that yawning is contagious.
Yeah,
right,
and it
got
doesn't always
90
mean
seconds.
you're tired. It means lack of oxygen to your brain.
Do your sign off, buddy.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Phil, thanks for participating. A lot of great
Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Kim. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, no problem.
Lorna, sleeping.
What?
God bless America. God bless our kids. First responders, veterans, troops. And God bless the Defender 7. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
God bless you too, Bobby.